Alright, nice little trick I did for somebody that they wanted to learn how to do themselves, so I'll throw it in here. Layers. Let's select, let's try to first select hard boundaries. And this is going to be a pain in the ass to do. Especially because of the shadows and everything else. So that's not going to work. Let's select by color. Yeah, it's not going to work either. Alright. So what we've got is something that we can't really work with. Now see, you can go back and what you could wind up doing a lot of times is sitting here and selecting shit over and over and over and deleting over and over, but usually that's a big pain in the neck. A lot of times you'll want to cut something out of an image, but you can't really grab it because there's no real hard boundary. And so you wind up doing stuff like this. And then what you can do a lot of the times is you can only go so far without having to break down and get the eraser out and get down on a nitty-gritty scale. Now I'm sure there's other ways to do this that people much more experienced than me could tell you how to do, but I'm just trying to hurry up and get the biggest part of this stuff out. And am I on a layer? Yeah. Let's see. And it's funny, the eraser's not working. Yeah, that is a common thing. If you just got done selecting a bunch of stuff, like how we were just now going through this, like this, and deleting stuff, and then you go to use another tool. For example, we're going to grab this paintbrush by hitting the letter P, then go through the eraser, and see, it makes no effect on the image. A lot of times it's because you still got something selected even if you can't see it. Hit Control-Shift-A and then you can screw things up. But that's a common thing that winds up getting in the way, is not being able to use a tool and can't figure out why it's not working. 9 times out of 10 is because you still have a selection somewhere that you don't know about, or because you're on the wrong layer and you are not aware of it. Alright, but anyway, you get the point. We kind of did a half-assed job here of cutting this girl out of the background. And let's see if I can get a little bit more of it out there. Man, what happened to all my hard brushes? Alright. Anyway, alright, you get the point here. Hit Control-Alternate-O and you can open another existing image as a background. Let's see if I have got these. Alright. Now as you can see here, we just opened another image. I said it as a background, I meant as another layer. Now we got 2 layers here. We got the chick, and we got these wings we just opened. Now as you can see, that's not going to work out real well because the wings have a solid background. Well, you can right click on this layer. Remember, this is a new layer now. This isn't part of the same image. Well, it's part of the same image, but it's not as part of the background image. Right click on the layer, or you can go up here in the layer menu above the image and go to Transparency, Add Alpha Channel, meaning a transparent channel. Now hit U, or go over here and select the magic wand, and then come down here and click anywhere on the black and hit delete. As you see, we just removed the background from around the wings. Now you can take and actually we're going to have to add a new layer. Hit new layer right here, leave it, or give it whatever name you want, drag it to the bottom of all layers, and then take and hit your layer right here with the girl on it. And then do the same thing. Click in her background. Actually, right click, layer, transparency, add alpha channel. Click in her background, hit delete. Now the reason you had to do that is because if we put the wings behind this girl, well, she's against a solid black background, you're never going to see the wings. But if we put a solid black background on a new layer that's on the bottom of all of these, which you do by clicking on your new layer, hit Shift B, or just click on your bucket, and then hit Control, click, and it'll fill it in with black. And that's actually 3 layers now we have. We have the background, we have the girl, and we have the wings. Now, let's hit M, and then for the move tool, click on the wings over here in your layers. Move the wings up. Now, here's where we're going to hit Control Shift R. Here's where we want to resize a layer, but not an image. Let's make the width, okay, right here in the top of your title, you'll see that your image height by width is 501 by 900. So we know our width is 501. Let's make the width of our wings 501. And then scale. As you can see, we made them bigger. Now hit Control L to make it fit the border of the image. And we can actually make those wings a little bit bigger. Let's hit Control Shift R again. Actually, as a rule of thumb, undo any resize if you did it wrong to begin with. Because if you resize a resize, you lose even more quality than if you just resize it from scratch. So let's go ahead and make this 600. And it's probably a bit big. Damn it, I did the whole image. Control Shift R, 600. Alright. And then you move them in place. Hit Control L to match the borders of this layer up with the borders of the image. And then click on the wings layer, drag it underneath the girl layer. And then you just kind of put wings on a chick. Alright, but the point is, that's how you work with layers and transparency. Images, especially JPEGs, do not have transparency by default. Even some PNGs and GIFs, just because they're PNGs and GIFs, and by the way, you shouldn't use GIFs anyway, use PNGs. But anyway, most PNGs, just because they're PNGs, does not mean they have transparency in the image. So a lot of times you got to make sure to right click on a layer and go to add transparency. And another thing I want to point out is you can actually flip layers independent of each other. Hit Shift F, and then you'll see a double-sided arrow left and right. Clicking on a layer will flip it, as you can see. Let's click on the girl so you can see better. And then hitting Control click will flip upside down. And the same thing with rotation. Go to Layer, Transform, Rotate, and you also have that option right here. But I don't like this option. You can click on the Rotate button right here, click on the layer, and then you can specify how many degrees you want it to rotate. But I don't really care too much for that option. I'd rather just right click on the layer, go to Layer, Transform, and Rotate, etc. But anyway, and then you could put Control Alternate O, and we'll open a new layer or a new image up. When you hit Control O, that is open image. It will open a new image. When you hit Control Alternate O, it opens a new image as a layer in the existing image. And you can take and opens a new image as a layer, for example. And I'm trying to find something decent to use. And you could put your little biker chick. That's not even a big enough image. Hit undo to get rid, and let's try this again. Let's find a bigger image. This should work right here. Anyway, you can put your biker chick in the middle of a city or something, and you can hit Control Alternate O again to open a new image. Where did I just see it? There it is.